The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What up, YouTube? It is Dolly back in the house again. And today we're going to be talking the tragic story of Rebecca Park. This is the young lady that was last seen November 3rd. And she was brutally murdered, and her 9-month-old baby was cut from her stomach. Okay? Trigger warning, guys. The things we're going to be discussing here today are a little crazy. We're also going to be reviewing Nancy Grace, her thoughts on this whole case and the information, the new information that is coming out, and this brutal murder that really didn't even have a reason to take place. A woman just wanted her daughter's baby for her own and brutally murdered her biological daughter. Thank you, Helena, for everybody jumping on the Blessed Express. This is one for those that can't, so someone can join me on the Blessed Express train. Okay, the Blessed Express is the best train on YouTube. And, you know, we set a goal, and daily I've been giving away the hat that I'm wearing to one lucky person when we hit our goal. And today's hat it's a Jack and Lily Sullivan hat. It says Justice for Jack and Lily Sullivan. Has a little picture of them as little angels on it. I will be signing this hat and giving it away when we hit our goal on the Blessed Express today. All right, but before we get too far into everything, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to leave your DNA on that like button, okay? Just in case somebody cuts you open. Dolly's going to sew you back together, okay? I'm going to stitch you up like a surgeon, right? And you're going to need that. And of course, if you're brand new here and you haven't yet, sub up the channel, ring the bell for notification. If you're a true crime junkie, you are in the right place tonight. Okay. Well, today it's daytime. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon for me. It may be nighttime for some of you people on the other side of the pond. So let me give my warnings before we jump all into this. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. Just my opinion, people. Completely satire. The panel guests today, because we're going to open up the panel for anybody that wants to come up, or the phone lines. Their opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on Dolly. Everyone, and I mean everyone, including you watching right out there now, innocent to proven guilty, okay? Innocent to proven guilty. And the biggest one of them all, by now, everybody on YouTube should know this, right? Don't be Dolly at home. It is dangerous. It is dangerous. Okay. So I made some notes on this story because I didn't want to get anybody confused, because there's so many moving parts in this Rebecca Parks story. Now, like I said, she was last seen on November 3rd of 2025, right? And, you know, she was reported missing. She was supposed to hang out with her friend that night, but she never made it to her friend's house. Now, key players in this, right? You know, that we know, the mother, and her name is Courtney Bartholomew. All right. Also, there's Richard Fowler, which is Rebecca's boyfriend and father of the baby. Okay. Kimberly was the friend who Rebecca was supposed to be hanging out with that night. Okay, some immediate red flags that were in the case. Brad and Courtney gave multiple changing stories about where they were at. Phone data revealed that they were not honest about their locations. I like a window seat in the bar car, and can I bring a cat? You can bring your cat. I'm allergic to cats, but just keep the cat away from me, and you're good to go, Sherry. Thank you for getting on the Blessed Express. Also, Brad and Courtney both acted nervous during their interviews. They seemed more concerned about phones, cars, and stories than Rebecca. All right, and we got to remember, Courtney is the biological mother of Rebecca. November 3rd, Rebecca goes missing. November 4th, police release a missing persons alert. November 5th, interviews began. Courtney makes strange statements about Rebecca being gone. November 23rd through 25th, phone record, tower data, and movement shows inconsistencies in Brad and Courtney's stories. All right. On November 24th through the 30th, multiple interviews with Brad and Courtney were conducted. The 25th, Rebecca's body and phone are discovered in an area consistent with their movement. So basically, the police say the phone data was consistent with where they found Rebecca's body. This is more phone location evidence that they have against them. Phone records show Brad and Courtney's phones were near the location where Rebecca's body was found. Movement on November 3rd, day she disappeared, and November 25th, body was recovered, matched evidence of them returning to the area. So not only did they kill her, dump her, but they returned to the scene of where they had committed the crime. These are statements from Courtney. Claimed she didn't know what happened, but later admitted she lied multiple times. She knew Rebecca was in danger. She said things like, I knew something was going to happen. Confirmed. Brad handled knives. She moved Rebecca's phone. She knew there was blood in the trunk. She eventually admitted to that. She was pregnant. She was present when Rebecca was stabbed. All right. She helped move Rebecca afterwards. She and Brad went back to the scene. Now, these are statements from Brad, the stepdad of Rebecca. At first denied everything. Hold on. At first denied everything. Later admitted he was present when Rebecca was stabbed. He saw Courtney stab Rebecca. He helped remove Rebecca's body. They tried to perform some CPR, but Rebecca and the baby did not survive. They placed Rebecca's baby in a cooler and later into a dumping area. Confirmed there was blood in the vehicle. He used phone belonging to Courtney and Rebecca. He helped clean the vehicle afterwards. Vehicle evidence, okay? Vehicle evidence, bloodstains, recently cleaned areas, seat covers burned and thrown out. Courtney admitted Brad cleaned the truck. Items were removed and burned. Behavior that concerned investigators. Both suspects lied repeatedly. They contradicted each other. They changed the timeline of events. They tried to place blame on Kimberly, Rich, and others. Both showed knowledge about the body and phone location that was the killer, only the killer would know. All right. So basically, these people, there's plenty of evidence against these people for the murder of Rebecca Park. And basically, you know, that they're saying that she was alive when they cut the baby out and eventually wrapped this baby. They said the baby was deceased when it was born. Okay, which I believe to be a lie. I believe this baby was alive. And the mother was telling people earlier that day that her baby was on the way, like she was having a baby. Okay, so now this woman was never pregnant. She wanted her biological daughter's child, I'm assuming, as her own. And I guess when they killed it, the baby didn't make it. Or if it did, they got scared, wrapped the baby up in a black trash bag, put that baby in a cooler, and then dump that baby at a dumping site, which would put this baby somewhere right now in a landfill. Okay. Now, I don't know if they have any landfill searches underway for this baby, but everything they seem to be saying about this is consistent with what the police are saying, that the stains are in the vehicle. They believe that this baby was put in a cooler. This baby was dumped. That's why the police are saying they believe the baby is deceased. But at this time, we don't know where the baby is. And you know Dolly's famous catch line, where's the... Okay. This baby seems like this is another Quentin Simon story, but with a different beginning, a brutal beginning, with them just killing this woman for absolutely no reason. So Nancy went over it, and nobody does a better job. And, you know, I'm good, but I'm not quite as good as Nancy. So we're going to review a little bit of the Nancy coverage of this, and I'm going to post a link so you guys can join me here live if you want to discuss this case with me. Of course, if you come on the show in the backstage, you have to show me that you're a real person. I have to be able to see you in the backstage, and then you can turn your camera off and I will bring you up onto the channel so you can speak on the case. Okay. But I just want to see to make sure you're not a troll. You're not going to porn bomb the channel, any of those things. And lately we've been having, people have been good about, you know, showing themselves in the backstage, coming up. No big deal. Don't worry about how you look. I don't care, because your camera is going to be off when you come up anyway. Okay. The only person that's going to see you in the backstage is me. All right. So let's share the screen here. Add that to the stage. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Helena. Thank you for all the super chats today. That is awesome. Love you. Big virtual hugs to you. And let me make sure y'all can hear this really well.
Search goes on for a baby after a young mom-to-be, Rebecca, just 22 years old, is found dead in a heavily wooded area. Her infant, her stomach. What ghouls?
They muted it. Well, what happened was the baby was cut from the mother's stomach, which is wow.
Would do this. Can you say death penalty? Because I can. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Rebecca Park, a 22-year-old mother from Wexford County, is eagerly anticipating the arrival of her third child. She is a devoted mom of 2 young boys, but as her due date approaches, Rebecca misses the birth of her baby and vanishes.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to me. A 22-year-old mom-to-be, just days away from giving birth, disappears. Her body found in a heavily wooded area. At first, all we knew was the baby wasn't there. Now we know the baby has been her stomach, leaving the mom to die, bleed out in the woods. Where's the baby? Straight out to
Where's the
Professor
baby?
Forensics Death Investigator Joseph Scott Morgan joining us.
Body
Professor
bag.
Forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet, and star of a hit podcast, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, this is not the first time we have seen this scenario. And you and I both remember the first time it came to the forefront of national headlines, and it was in the Scott Peterson case, when one of the theories that defense attorney Martin Garagos floated out there, I believe he first put it out there on the Larry King show to just test the waters, and it bombed, was that someone had taken Lacey, had out of her stomach, Connor, baby boy Connor, and that the whole thing was about getting the baby and possibly selling the baby. And we were all like, no, that would never happen. That's too far-fetched. Well, Joe Scott, it's not too far-fetched.
No, it's not, Nancy. We've been hearing a lot about people trying to sell babies. Okay. Especially, look, the motive in the Stacey Wandra case, Sarah Wandra, Michael Monkey Vaughn, was they were going to sell that baby for $10,000, right? The Adrian Lucian guy was involved in trafficking, and he told them that they could sell the baby for $10,000. So, of course, they went out and kidnapped Michael Monkey Vaughn, stuffed him into a bag, and in that process, Michael Monkey Vaughn lost his life, right? Suffocated and passed away. So there's a lot of people out here that are actually trying to sell babies, which is, when I first started YouTube, I thought it was crazy to hear people say they sell babies. I was like, you're crazy. I've never seen a place that says we buy babies here. But there is a big market for these kids around the world globally. Trafficking is not just an American problem, it's a global problem. And Patricia says, we got 237 likes and we got 462 people in the room. What are y'all waiting for, guys? It's absolutely free. It's Christmas time. It's the holidays. Dolly's here with you. Take a second, do me a favor, and hit that like on the video. I got lucky last night. We hit 1,000 likes because PJ don't feed me unless I hit 1,000 likes. All right. I don't get to eat. Y'all don't want me all skinny like a crackhead living on your couch, right? Just like the video. Like the video. I appreciate it. That way I ain't got to stop and say it 1,000 times because we got a lot of stuff to go over in this case. And listen, this one comes with a lot of trigger warnings, okay? Comes with a lot of trigger warnings. And Merry Christmas to everybody in here. Good to see you guys jumping in the chat. Oh, and we didn't stop to sell on soaps yet, right? BuyDollySoap.com. We still have everything half off when you use promo code Dolly Rocks, one word, all capitals. And it also comes with a Justice for Summer Wells bracelet. Okay. You know, them little rubber bracelets. It'll come with a couple of those for every purchase. All right. We still have plenty of stuff left in stock. We do plan on selling out by Christmas. So get your orders in today because today should be the last day of the sale. Later tonight, PJ is taking everything off of sale because it's our last day. So get your orders in while you can. Dolly Rocks is the promo code. Every order comes with one of those Justice for Summer Wells bracelets. So go get them while you can. All right.
So can a baby live when I think Rebecca only had a few days before she was set to deliver. Could the baby live if it's of the mom's stomach?
Yeah.
Sure. You're talking about a mother that's at the baby is at allegedly at a 38-week gestational age. That's well beyond survivability. You know, when you begin to think about this, it's certainly possible. It's plausible that this could happen. I got to tell you, Nancy, out of all the cases that we've covered in recent memory, this is one of the most horrific when you begin to think about what she endured. So yes, with a child like this, I have no other way to put it. You can have ghouls, as you put it out there, that would want to go and harvest a baby in order to sell it on the market. And that is plausible, I think. And I think that that's something that needs to be explored in this case.
Just thought you
Absolutely.
could not be more correct. Sadly, the case we're covering tonight of Rebecca, set to give birth in just days, found dead, baby of stomach, is not the first time this scenario has played out. I don't know if you recall Michelle Wilkins.
Thank you, Helena. It says the soap and body wash is worth it and so good. Soft skin and nice smell. Great Christmas stocking stuffers for your man, woman, and teens. You are absolutely right. It's the best soap in the game, is what we like to say. It's high-end soap. It ain't cheap soap that dries your skin out. Everything's handmade by me with the greatest ingredients ever to be produced, okay? It's the greatest.
I remember, listen.
Cotter sentenced Dynell Lane to 100 years in prison for faking her own pregnancy, then luring Michelle Wilkins into her home and Wilkins' almost full-term baby out of her womb.
I've never seen a case as vicious, as cruel, as deliberate, and as awful as this case.
Because of Colorado laws, the majority of charges in this case were related to Wilkins' injuries, not the harm inflicted on the unborn child.
That from CHHCVJ on TikTok, a perfect capsulation. But in this case, Michelle Wilkins actually lived long enough to call 911. To Dave Mack joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Dave Mack, I understand in that case, Michelle Wilkins had gone online to a baby chat group. How did she meet her killers, Dave Mack?
The killer actually lured her with maternity clothes. Come on by, I'll hook you up. You know, one of those things that happens in those chat rooms is there are women who are going through the same thing at the same time, and they quickly bond, and that's how she lured her over and invited her into the house. Up until the moment she's attacked, she thinks she's there to pick up some maternity clothes.
To Randolph Rice joining us, a former prosecutor, current criminal defense attorney, and civil lawyer at Rice Law. What do you do? How do you defend ghouls like this? Now, in this case, the mom lived, and all the other cases we are covering tonight, the mom died, and in many of them, the baby died.
My first question, Nancy, is was this a natural birth that somehow went wrong? And maybe Rebecca Park was trying to out herself. That may be a defense.
What? What did that guy just say?
Okay.
Look at Nancy's face. Did you hear what that guy just said? He said, maybe this was a natural birth and it went wrong, and Rebecca Parks was trying to cut the baby out herself. You know, because he's a defense attorney. If you walked in the courtroom with that defense, oh my God. Oh my, kick that lawyer slam out. Nancy looks like, look at her eyebrows. Look at Nancy's eye. Them bitches stood straight up. Right? Look at her eyebrows. They stood straight up. Boom. You know, Nancy's going to be like, oh, hell no.
What did you just say?
What did you just say? That's what I just said. What the hell did you say? What the hell did this idiot say? She was having the baby herself, but something went wrong, and she started cutting the baby out of her. How damn barbaric do you got to be? Listen, I'm a pretty tough dude, right? I'm a pretty tough dude. I couldn't do that, okay? I could not do that. There's no woman in this world that could do that, okay? I know you women are tough. Y'all give birth. That's way better than what us men can do, right? I couldn't do it. That's why I'm thankful that I'm a man. I couldn't even imagine the thought of childbirth, right? But then to actually go, okay, well, there's complications. Let me start sawing at myself like Art the Clown Terrifier movie. That is crazy.
It's possible in this situation, as a defense attorney, that they may argue that this was somehow a natural birth that Rebecca Park may have potentially tried to be out herself.
When she said, what did you say? She didn't mean repeat it. She meant, have you lost your fucking mind? Right? That's what Nancy meant. She said, what did you say? She heard what you said. We all heard what you said. We didn't need you to say it again. Okay. She was like, what'd you say? Like, I can't believe what you're saying. You was like, well, Nancy didn't hear me. Let me repeat it. Oh my God. Get this dude off the show. Get this dude off the show. Oh.
Randolph Rice. Okay. Don't ruin your currently stellar reputation.
Nancy, tell him. Don't ruin your reputation there. Stellar reputation. You're looking like an idiot right now on TV. And Nancy's trying to help you. Nancy's trying to help you. Look at the eye. Look at the look. Right? This is why Nancy is the greatest. This is why Nancy right here is the greatest. Because you know me, right? And they say Dolly's controversial. Nobody's more controversial than Nancy, right? In this case, where's the baby, idiot? Right, Army Mom? Like, you know, they say I'm controversial, but who's more controversial than Nancy Grace? You just heard her tell the man, listen, don't be stupid, bro. You're going to mess up your reputation because you just said something that was dumb as hell, okay? Dumb as hell. Like an idiot, an idiot would have knew better than to say that right there, right? Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, because to believe what you just said would mean that Rebecca Park goes out in a heavily wooded area and chooses the dirt on the ground to perform a self-induced cesarean section. Is that what you're claiming would be a great defense?
Who would use that defense, right? Oh my God, they'd kick you right out the courtroom. They'd kick you right out the courtroom.
I'm open to all defenses right now, Nancy, because I just don't know enough information. And this is the thing that the defense attorney has to explore. They're going to have to figure out, was this natural? Was this intentional?
Never hire that lawyer. If we learned anything today on Dolly Vision, never hire that lawyer. Okay. Skip it. Get somebody else. All right. Get Alan Jackson. Get Yannetti. Don't hire that dude. Okay. Do not hire that dude.
Or is this caused by somebody else? And we don't know who that somebody else may be because that person may not be around, or the victim rather can't speak and tell us who did this if that's the case.
Yes, because she's dead. To Alan Langle joining us. Alan, thank you for being with us tonight. He's the editor at Deadline Detroit. It's an online daily, formerly with the Washington Post.
I don't know.
Alan, again, thank you for being with us in response to what Randolph Rice said. And please don't hold it against him, because very often defense attorneys are between a rock and a hard spot. Okay, their client is charged with murdering the mom. The mom is lying out in a wooded area, densely wooded area, with her stomach. What else can he argue? Tonight, they're looking for the baby if it survived. Right. Could you describe for Randolph Rice the location where, oh my stars, you just had to hit me with that. There's a sonogram. There is Rebecca's sonogram for the baby boy, for her little baby boy. She had already picked out the name Richie. Baby Richie. The name was discovered by friends of Rebecca's. Richard Scott Lee was to be his full name. Is he still alive?
Richard Scott Lee. That's a cool name, you know, and I'm assuming she was naming him after the daddy that also is in jail for we're going to say math, but it, you know, changed to A. For math charges, right? He, not good people. She was surrounded by bad people. Her sister, her mother, the stepdad. You know, listen, I always talk about it here on the channel. You're more likely to be unalived by someone who loves or cares about you than you are a complete stranger.
So, you know, Alan Langle, if you could explain to Randolph Rice the location where Rebecca's body was found sliced open. I doubt very seriously that she chose a heavily wooded area.
And when they, trigger warning guys, when they found her, apparently somebody had chewed through her jaw, like onto her jawbone. So she was technically missing part of her face. Now, this could be from animals feeding on her, because she had been laying out there for days. But she was partially flesh and a mandible, right? So her bones were showing in her face, like her actual bones, like there was no meat on her jaw.
To give birth, cesarean, to top it all off.
She was found in the Manistee National Forest up in northern Michigan, which is a beautiful area. People go there during the summer months for canoeing, camping, fishing. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's a very rural area, and people from all around the state and from Illinois and Ohio.
That's look beautiful.
Come up there, and in the winter they're skiing up that way. It's a beautiful forest. I mean, the fact is, just to punch a little hole into that defense, is that if the abortion or if the birth went wrong, why would you leave the body and abandon the body there? There's no. You would call for help. You would call for emergency, EMS or whatever.
Who would call for help and emergency? Are you talking about the pregnant mother? Wait, hold on.
No. I'm saying
Alan,
the people, if they were.
I asked you to describe the location.
Sure.
Where Rebecca died, where she bled out.
Right.
I'd be scared to be a guest on Nancy. Nancy will go in on you, right? As soon as you say something stupid, Nancy's all over you, boy. She's like, okay, I asked you to describe the location. I didn't ask for nothing else. You just as dumb as the last guy. Where the hell does she get her experts from? The only one that's good is the Joseph Morgan Scott dude, because he's a pathologist. He does the Body Bags podcast.
Right.
I don't even believe I'm having this discussion, but I guess I have to. Under Randolph Rice's theory that she voluntarily, naturally gave birth or planned to give birth out in this federal forest. Okay, you're talking about how beautiful it is. Could you tell me, you were talking about camping and fishing and swimming. What's the temperature out there right now, tonight, Alan Lingle?
Tonight, it's probably, up north there, it's probably in the low teens. Right now it's very cold in all of Michigan. And in northern Michigan, it's usually colder. So it's pretty frigid weather there.
Alan, it's 16 degrees at night where she was found. I mean, what you know what? Let me go to Dr. Sherry Schwartz, the only other woman joining me tonight on the panel.
I'm going to take back that autumn times I say I'm an idiot. I got to stop saying that, because there's some people out here that are way more stupid than Dolly. Okay. Oh my God. Like, where these people dropped on their head at birth in a national forest, a beautiful national forest where people canoe and ski and, go camping, where they dropped on their head. Did their mother go out there and go, well, this is a beautiful place to drop my baby on the head? And boom, next thing you know, we got these damn idiots. Maybe this woman will have some sense.
Sherry Schwartz, forensic psychologist, specializing in cases just like this. She's at panthermitigation.com. She's a prolific author, but one of them, and my favorite, is Where Law and Psychology Intersect. Dr. Sherry Schwartz, what woman in her right mind would go out in 16-degree temperature and give birth in the dirt, in the forest, alone, then realize she needs a C-section and be out? This is insane.
And if that was the case, then listen, let's just say, let me blow this up for a minute, because this is going to sound stupid as that dude. Let's just say hypothetically, right? You were like, oh, I'm going to go out here and have a baby, all right, in the dirt, like Nancy says, in a national forest, in the dead ass of winter, okay? In the dead ass of winter. We'll go out here. We're going to give birth. I start having problems with the birth. So I pull out a machete, like Bullhorn Betty, right? And I pull out a machete and I start cutting myself open and I pull the baby out. And then I die, okay? Well, what is the baby going to jump up and run off like a damn leprechaun running through the woods? Where does the baby go in that, right? The baby be laying there right beside you dead. We wouldn't be going right now, where's the baby? Okay, did they throw the baby away? How did the baby? You would be dead, the baby would be dead, and they would have found both of them. They'd been like, we recovered a infant and a mother that was in a machete. Okay, did they even recover a machete or a knife? Okay, they didn't. That just sounds so crazy to even suggest something like that. We know what happened. Crazy ass people happen. Okay, the mother was batshit. She wanted a child, and she thought, okay, well, this is my biological daughter, but they didn't have that mother-daughter connection, right? Because Rebecca had been adopted, so she was already a shit parent to begin with, and now she's done plotted a thing to kill her daughter so she can have another daughter, and that would have just got taken away from her too, because all these people are damn drug addicts. Make it make sense.
It is insane. And only if she was actively psychotic would she even entertain anything like that. But I haven't heard any reports that she suffered from any sort of mental illness like that. Again, we don't have a lot of information, but that's highly, highly unlikely.
You know, we were talking earlier with Dave Mack, Joe Scott Morgan, about how one victim had been lured in one of those online chat rooms about giving birth. And that is where her killers met her. But very often the killer is someone known by the victim. Joe Scott, I don't know if you recall another similar victim, Marlon Ochoa Lopez. Listen.
These two killed a pregnant teen and out of her womb and took it for themselves. Marlon Ochoa Lopez was part of a Facebook group for pregnant mothers, and they were all kind of like a support group with each other. She became friends with this lady right here. Her name is Clarissa Figueroa. They became friends. They came over for tea one day. So Ochoa Lopez went over to Figueroa's for tea, and that was the last time everyone heard from her. Desiree Figueroa is her daughter on the right, and she helped murder this pregnant teen and out of her womb.
That is from Harinder Singh on TikTok. Joe Scott, I want you to hear the rest of the facts too. Dave Mack, these two invite the pregnant mom over for tea, and she ends up dead. What happened in that scenario?
In this particular case, the pretense was they were offering her free baby clothes. And, you know, for many new mothers, that's a big priority. You've got to have clothing for the children. It does get expensive. And so Marlene was excited at the opportunity to get some free clothing. That's how they got it.
Yeah, all these people belong in the basement of the jail, okay? They need to go to the deepest, darkest part of the prison, dig a hole, and then put these people in that hole.
They're in there.
Back to you, Joe Scott Morgan, knowing what you now know. I want to talk to you about what exactly happened in the case in chief. Tonight, the search is ongoing for her little baby, Richie, if he survived. And I would think that his body would have been found by now if he had died in the process. Could you explain to me how this happened? How would an amateur cesarean section take place? And we have reason to believe that Rebecca was alive when the baby Richie, was torn from her uterus.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, that was a really beautiful area in Michigan there. I've actually been there fishing before. One of the most lovely areas in the United States. But I got to tell you something, Nancy. You know what I didn't see? A labor and delivery room. I didn't see an area that is prepped in order to facilitate a cesarean. So what do you
see? He's not an idiot. About time that, you know, he's the only good, like, she brings up a lot of experts, and I don't know if I would call some of these people experts, but he's good. I mean, he's good. He knows his shit.
What are you going to do this with? Well, in order to do this, I doubt that they're going to show up with retractors. They're not going to have scalpels. They're probably not going to have surgical scissors, these sorts of things. So they're going to use tools at hand that they have. We're talking about things like knives that you bring in from home, any kind of other instrument that might be available. And they're going to leave her out there. They're going to take her.
They use razor knives because this lady would cut herself to drain cellulite, allegedly. And one of the razor knives or Zacto knives were missing. Yeah, he has the Body Bag podcast. I know he is. I met him at Crime Con. He's a really nice guy too.
At that spot, perhaps, and extricate this baby from her womb. Now, they probably know enough that they're going to have to keep her alive so that the child is going to be viable. And that is a very, very tough passage to go through, because if you do not have medical training to facilitate this, you're not only going to have a dead mom, you're going to have a dead baby on your hand. If the purpose of this is to take this child and sell it on the market, there's going to be evidence that's left behind also. To go back to this idea that this may have been some kind of natural birth, we all know, for those of us that are not in the medical field, that I've been present for the birth of all of my precious children. We do know that if it's a vaginal delivery, you've also got to push out the placenta. You're going to be looking for an umbilical cord, those sorts of things. So you can kind of go back and examine the scene from that perspective to see what is left behind. It's not just what is taken, it's what's left behind. And the trauma, Nancy, that she sustained out there on that filthy, filthy ground in that beautiful forested area is something that we cannot even begin to calculate.
Joining me right
Does Michigan have the death penalty? Because these people need to be strapped into old Sparky.
now is Dan Murphy, former NYPD Detective Sergeant. He was on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, former Chief Security Officer at U.S. Bancorp, and he is the co-host star of Gold Shields podcast. He's also an author. Dan, you and I, Joe Scott, many people on the panel tonight have cast iron stomachs. We have to, after what we've seen on crime scenes. But I want to brace you for what you're about to hear regarding the victim in the case in chief. There are two victims. There's Rebecca, about to give birth, 22 years old.
Wow.
And there's her baby Richie. We don't know where he is tonight. Okay, I want you to hear what one of the witnesses says that has seen the body, and brace yourself.
I'm going to walk up to her, and yes, the animals have ate at her cheeks, but her face is all there. The animals,
because it's so cold,
and her stomach, and there's their stomach gutted.
So the baby's not there.
I don't think so. I got this close. I mean, it's her stuff's coming. It's
Oh, okay.
From Jax S on TikTok.
You hear that animals had chewed at her face, and her stomach was completely gutted. Oh my God. That is, and she was a pretty young lady. Like, probably, it's just horrible that somebody could do something to her like this. And not only that, somebody that's allegedly supposed to love this person and care for this person, and they're the one to do something so heinous to you. Unbelievable.
Dan Murphy, other than this beautiful girl, she's 22, Dan.
And women, please stop getting tattoos on your face. Okay, because you're going to regret that when you get older. Like, men, don't get tattoos on your face either. Soon as I see tattoos on people's faces, I hate to be judgmental, but listen, we all judge a little bit. I think convict. Okay, well, I think that you never want to work a day in your life. And where the hell are you going to get a job at with tattoos all over your face? That's how I think, right? I've got some Starbucks. What was it? Maybe a week or two ago, me and PJ went to Starbucks, and the guy came to the window, and he had a bunch of tattoos on his face. And I was like, damn, I can't believe Starbucks gave you a job with them tattoos on your face. Right? That is just a bad move. Unless you're in a tribe from Africa, your ass should not have tattoos on your face. You got plenty of body that you don't need shit written on your forehead, around your cheek. The neck tattoos are bad enough. But when you start tattooing the face, like, and like I said, she's a pretty girl. Why make yourself Why ugly yourself up with something? I mean, if you're going to get tattoos, me and PJ were in a fancy ass restaurant, and a dude, one of the waiters, had tattoos, right? But he had really good tattoos, and he was tattooed up the back of his neck onto his head. But he had really, really nice, like you could tell a really good artist had did his tattoos, right? Like it looked like he spent thousands and thousands of dollars on his tattoos. If it is something of that nature, it looks good. It's you can tell it's something done by a really good artist, and and he didn't even have his face tattooed, but he did have his bald head tattooed and down back his neck and his shoulders and his arms. It was real colorful, real bright, like the universe. And I was thinking, damn, there's some nice tattoos. But when you take a tattoo gun, you just start scribbling on your face, right? Your jelly rolls, and jelly rolls getting, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but jelly rolls tattoos are starting to disappear. People haven't noticed. I ain't seen nobody say nothing about it. His tattoos, every time I see them, are a little bit lighter, and some of them are missing, right? And of course, he's changed up a lot. He's lost a lot of weight, and he says it's natural, but that shit ain't natural. Everything about it is fake. He's the teeth, all the new teeth he got. And I like his teeth though, right? 20 G's. If I'm going to start saving me some, I'm going to get me some all new teeth like that. So the teeth, the tattoos are going, he's changed his appearance so much that it don't even look like Jelly Roll, right? Because I guess at this point, he's so rich, they're trying to clean him up a little bit so he don't look, so trashy and tattoos and shit all over his face. So I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. His teeth do look nice. Don't his teeth look nice? He has some nice teeth. But they're not the real teeth. Because he canceled his show because he had a tooth infection. Because they pulled his teeth. Them are implants that he got. You don't have teeth that perfect, that straight, that white, and they not be implants. Okay. Because I've been looking at implants. I'm thinking, hey, 20 G's, I can get like some rims for your car. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get me some perfectly pearl white babies, right? But about 20 grand for a good set of teeth. And that's all them Hollywood people. Ain't nobody in Hollywood got real teeth. Them are all implants, right? Nobody's teeth are that perfect, that straight, that white. Just ain't happening. Yes, Dolly, yes, they are implants. Yeah, I know. But, and like he said, he lost all that weight naturally. No, he didn't. No, you didn't lose 200 pounds that quick naturally. Okay, you just don't. He's on, I believe, medicine, different type of lipo. This is just my opinion. Your body don't change that dramatically overnight without certain procedures, surgical procedures. If he lost that much weight, yes, he's on that medicine. I don't want to say names of medicines here because YouTube's funny about it. But he's taking this certain type of medicine where everybody's been losing weight with it. And I mean, like turning into skin and bones. If he had lost that much weight, where's all the extra skin? Because he's having procedures and it's not natural, right? But, sometimes you may need these things to keep your health, better health. And then once you get there, keep your health right. And because being that big, you face chances of heart attacks and high blood pressure, high cholesterol. All right, back on track.
To give birth, just days away from giving birth. Out there in the woods, her stomach gutted open, and these witnesses are describing how there has been, as Joe Scott likes to say, animal activity on her body to top it all off. Animals have gotten to her out in the wilderness that all of our guests are describing these beautiful, idyllic federal forest. I can't see it that way after what I know happened to Rebecca there. But the way this girl was brutalized, the one thing I'm learning of note too, the brutality that was inflicted on this.
Dolly, Dolly. Hold on. Let me see what this says. Dolly, some in chat asked what tattoo she has on her face. I sent you the pic. Yeah, she has a tattoo right here on her forehead, a big one on her forehead right here.
This pregnant mom. And B, number one. Number two, the baby's gone. The baby was not there. Somebody took the baby. Dan Murphy, have you ever seen anything like it?
All right, let me show y'all this picture. Yeah, now you see it, right? It looks like somebody scribbled on her face above her eye. Now, I'm not trying to shame her, right? Because, you know, she's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Rebecca. But I just don't think that's a smart move, me, myself, right? Now, she may think it looks good, and riffraff young people. Yeah, this pretty girl has a face tattoo. See it above her right eye? Right here? I don't even know what it is. Like, it looks like a little dog, a poodle head and some writing. I don't know what that is. But why would you do that to yourself? I mean, it doesn't matter if she had a tattoo. I'm just saying in general, you shouldn't tattoo your face like that. And if you was, she probably should have put something pretty. Like, you know, Kat Von D. She has the stars that go around her eye or something. It's not the best. And I think even Kat Von D has had a lot of that moved. And she's blacking her tattoos out right now. And I don't know why she would do that. That's even worse. I think then when you get old, you're going to have black, wrinkly skin. Like, you know, you've seen how, like, Machine Gun Kelly, Kat Von D, it's like this new trend where they don't like their tattoos, so they just get a big black blob put over it. And then they'll have like, it'll be like tribal, but it'll be like all black work, and it'll cover up all their tattoos. It is not that painful these days to have a tattoo removed. And they have so many locations you can go do it at. Some tattoo studios even remove tattoos. Right? They do it, they'll lighten tattoos so they can do cover-ups. So you can, I think it's like, they have places now, it's like $100 a session. They'll go and they'll take that out your tattoo. And then you won't be able to get rid of it in one session. It might take 8-9 sessions to get rid of it, completely get rid of the tattoo. But they can get rid of them. And a lot of people that are tattooing their face now, they'll regret that later on in life. Now, listen, if you're a rapper and you're worth $20 million, or you know you ain't never got to work again, or you ain't got to participate in society, tattoo the hell out your face, right? Look, Mike Tyson, he worth $50 million. Of course, he can have a face tattoo, right? Get all the face tattoos you want. You don't never got to work again. You never, you know. But if you somebody that's ain't wealthy, I would not suggest tattooing your face. All right. Nothing personally against her. Rest in peace to Rebecca Park. It's just I'm talking in general about all people. And I have tattoos.
Including all your years at NYPD.
This would have to be up there with the most horrific scenes I've ever seen, if not worse. Having not seen images, but hearing the descriptions is enough. This is the stuff that makes even veteran detectives want to have a drink or 5 on the way home afterwards, because this is so, you want to wash it out of your brain. It's so horrible. This is what reminds you that human beings are capable of unbelievable, unfathomable acts of violence against each other. This is one that would stick with whoever was at that scene for the rest of their lives.
Dan Murphy, you mentioned this is the kind of case that makes you want to have 1 or 5 drinks after work. I remember being so upset, distraught when I would leave the courthouse. Of course, I couldn't let a jury see.
Do you regret your tattoos, Jolly? Just wondering. Yeah, I would. If I had the opportunity, I would remove my tattoos. They fit me when I was young, you know, but as I've gotten older, I'm not a big fan of the tattoos, even on me. So yeah, if I had the opportunity and had the funds to remove them, I would. I got a damn devil right here. See, it's like Satan holding a skull right now. Big, takes up my whole damn arm. So yeah, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I mean, I had good tattoo work too. I had artists do my work, but not some little like scratcher, you know. But yeah, I would remove it. I don't really regret anything I've done in life, because everything I've done led me and made me into the person that I am now. Right. And I look at myself like I'm a pretty good person, and you have to make mistakes in life. Some people do, to learn. You have to touch the stove, like PJ tells me. I'm one of those people. I have to learn things the hard way. But I always got my tattoos. I knew, like, military style. If you notice my wrist bone, you should always go 1 inch above your wrist bone. So if you wear a collared shirt, it hides your tattoos. I come from an era where tattoos wasn't, when I first started getting tattoos 30 years ago, they wasn't popular, right? I mean, criminals and shit had tattoos, bikers and stuff like that. Tattoos are way more acceptable today than they were when I first started getting tattooed. I mean, when I came in with my first tattoo, my mom went fucking crazy, right? Talking about you destroying your body, God's temple, you should, worship, take care of your body. And she was mad. I mean, she was really mad. And then, of course, I guess I'm more of a metalhead. So in the metal community, music world, it's more acceptable for the tattoos and stuff like that. So I kept getting more and more tattoos. And so, yeah, but the question, to answer your question quickly, yeah, if I had the funds to remove them and I could get them like nicely removed, I would remove them.
I would have to pull my car over. I would go to the parking deck, load up all my stuff. I didn't dare leave it in the courtroom.
What? We only got 406 likes and 604 people in it. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. So anyway, guys, take a second, like the video. There's 200 of you that haven't liked. It helps get us in the algorithm. It helps bring in new people. New people bring in new concepts and new theories. So just take a second, like the video. It's a great way to help the channel. It's absolutely free to like the video. It don't cost you anything. And let me tell you this, when you do something good in this world, like this video, good things are going to happen for you. Because when you put good into the universe, good comes back. All right. And thank you for everybody that's been super chatting. When we hit our goal, I am going to give this justice for Jack and Lily Hadaway. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of my green screen. It's kind of messing it up. But it says, it has a cute little picture of Jack and Lily Sullivan. It says justice for Jack and Lily. And I'm going to sign it and give it away to one of you guys here today. All right.
Load everything up, get in the car, drive away from the building, away from the parking lot, so no one connected to the case. Then I would pull over and stop the car and just feel sick or cry or just try to just sit there and process what had happened. And that's how I feel about what happened to Rebecca in this case. And the baby is still missing, Dan.
I can totally relate to what you talked about as your experience, and I know a lot of people can relate to it too. If you have children, if you are a parent, if you care about the sanctity of life, this is shocking to the core. Absolutely shocking to the core. And even just reading about this story,
thank you,
can give someone experience such as myself chills. It's a cold, hard reminder of just how brutal people can be to each other. And this is a depth not reached often in terms of that cruelty.
I'm going to walk up to her, and yes, the animals have 8 at her cheeks, but her face is all there. The animals,
because it's so cold,
and her stomach, and their stomach's gutted.
So the baby's not there.
I don't think so. I got this close. I mean, it's her stuff's coming. It's yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
From Jax S on TikTok.
Holidays are just around the corner, and that means a lot of excitement and stress. Fluctuate with the market. The Smart Equity Loan offers
birth, Rebecca is last seen.
That's right. The holidays, Christmas. We're actually, just a couple weeks away from Christmas? Man, 2026 flew by, right? What a fast year. I'm ready for a new year, though. I hope everybody's ready. New Year's resolution, Dolly, I'm going to get in better shape. So I'm in the process of buying me a treadmill, a little, one of those walking ones, and a little exercise bike. I got some little weights the other day that I'm going to be lifting some little weights, trying to get a little bit in shape slowly. So my New Year's resolution is to drop a few pounds, right? And get a little more active and in better shape because I'm getting old. So I need to take a little bit better care of myself. So I hope you guys have a good New Year's resolution, and you stick with it. I'm going to try to stick with mine, right? It's hard because I like to eat. Dolly got to eat, right? I like to eat. But I need to eat better. I need to take better care of myself. And I need to start working out at least an hour or two a day. Enjoy riding the Blessed Express with you and PJ. Ashley, thank you for being here with us. It's good to see you and being a member for 1 month. Okay. The first month is the best month. All right. It's all downhill from there, though. But thank you for being here. Everybody that's here with us today. I'm glad to see each and every one of you guys. I'm like 464 watching from Ohio. Well, thank you. Like 464. That's awesome. OH. All right. All my Ohio people. Back in the day, my band used to play in Ohio a lot. And I like Ohio. The people there were good people. I had a lot of good times. I think I was in my favorite place was Columbus, Ohio. Right? College town. Cool little clubs and had a good time. Ohio was always on my radar of places to play. I played the Midwest Metal Fest in Ohio. I had a really good time. Good people.
Stepping into a dark-colored vehicle outside her biological mother's home. Questions arise about who is behind the wheel and where they
Love from Kentucky. Okay. Me and PJ have been looking at this little piece of property in Kentucky. And it's really cheap, right? And we're looking for a spot to put like a little trailer and have like a little spot that we can go to and vacay, like a little camp spot. So we've been looking at this little piece of property today in Kentucky, and but I doubt we get it. But I was looking at it, window shopping.
take her.
Number one, where is baby Richie? And number two, who did this? What ghoul, what depraved ghoul would take a young mom-to-be just days away from giving birth out into the wilderness and open? Even saying the words are shocking. And believe me, I'm not numb. After all the cases I've investigated, prosecuted, and covered, I'm not numb. But when you look at a case like this, Joe Scott, I'm sure you agree with me, you have to hold it together. You got to keep it together to get through the probative, in other words, they mean something, facts, and prove your case. In this case, holding it together until you find the baby. Then you can go home and fall apart. Or as Dan Murphy said, go have 1 or 5 drinks.
Tom Wells is going to have some property for sale soon. Well, let me tell you, I'd buy the hill. I would tear that shack down and build me a nice little ranch home on top of that hill, clean up that yard. Oh my God, it'd be so beautiful. Listen, Don Wells has a beautiful property. It's just, he don't take care of it. He has shacks, no broke down cars. If you was to clean that up, cut you a nice driveway up the hill, either gravel it really well or, something. You had to do something with the driveway situation, or you would need 4-wheel drive trucks to get up and down it. It would be nice. His property sits in between 2 mountains in the holler, and it's on top of a hill with no neighbors. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful if you cleaned it up.
Yeah, I agree with Dan that you have to, from my perspective, you have to follow the science and stay with it. Because if you look around you and you look at what's before you relative to the humanity that indwells that space, it'll drive you to utter madness. But the key here is going to be the science, Nancy. I think you have to be reliant upon that to understand what happened to her. First off, I want to understand what are the kinds of injuries might she have had on her body, other than, say, for instance, this horrible incision that she's going to have over her lower abdomen. I want to know if she was in any way. I want to know if she was compelled in any way to wind up in this location. Was she beaten? Was she cut? Was she stabbed? Was she shot? Was she bludgeoned in any way? I want to try to understand that. And therein is going to rest some of the answers. Nancy, even in the state that she's in, and if memory serves me correctly, we're talking potentially several weeks down the road since she was last seen alive. Did you know, even as badly as she may have been decomposed, we will still be able to figure out these wound tracks relative to the hemorrhage that indwells these sites. Because if there is hemorrhage, that's going to give us an indication that she sustained antemortem injuries. And plus, in the throes of having the baby removed, that's called a perimortem injury, there will still be hemorrhage there, and that will tell the tale.
I mean, just got Morgan to remove a baby in this manner. Of course, when a proper cesarean is done in the hospital, the cut is, I don't know, 4 inches maybe. It's horizontal, way, way, way low down on your stomach. I imagine amateurs would do a vertical cut from, say, the down to the just open. So if, and I'm guessing, hypothesizing that is the way they did it. If they did make the vertical cut I'm describing,
I believe that is the case too, because witnesses said, trigger warning guys, that she was gutted. Now, if you ever seen anybody gut an animal, it ain't a cut like this. It's a vertical cut. Okay, they cut straight up the, and all the guts fall out. I remember when I was a kid, we had a house in the country in Georgia, and my uncle, right? Like, I've always been the one, I can't kill nothing, right? My uncle Buddy, he liked to hunt and do things like that. He killed everything. I had chickens that I would raise out there, and he'd eat my chickens. But I go out on the back porch, and there's a deer hanging on the back porch, and they were gutting the deer. And as a kid, you see Bambi hanging up there. It's kind of traumatic, right? Like, and they're like, hey, you need to, hang out, watch this, because they want you to learn, but I never was the one. Maybe if I would have stayed in Georgia and that life, I would have been maybe hunting more, with family and stuff like that. But we moved to Virginia, to the city, and there ain't a whole lot of deer hunting going on in the city, right? So, but then, like, I watched this deer get gutted, and to this day, that stuck with me. From the time I was a little kid to today, I still remember it and can see it like yesterday. Now, have I ever done anything to an animal like that? No, hell no. I love animals, right? If I had to watch it be butchered, I couldn't eat it, right? And I had never eaten deer. So I go back, my uncle's cooking, and he has some cubes cut up on the table, and he tells me it's steak, right? And they got these toothpicks in it. And this is the first time I ever eaten deer meat, right? Because I think he knew if he told me that was the deer that they had gutted, I wouldn't have ate it, right? And so I ate it and I liked it. The deer meat is good. It's delicious, right? But could I kill a deer to eat it? No, I couldn't. And I could not gut an animal. I mean, if I was starving to death, I know the process of it because, they made me watch and learn, but I wouldn't want to do it. I definitely wouldn't want to do it. But yeah, I couldn't, it's hard to do that. Like, I look at animals like pets. I don't care what kind of animal it is, I used to raise pot-bellied pigs, and the city got onto me because I live in a country area of the city, but city ordinance were like, you can't have pigs. And the city was coming down onto me about my chickens. and they didn't see the pigs. So I just knew they were going to get me on the pigs. So I posted on like a site that I was giving away the pigs. So this dude called me and wanted to eat my pigs. He was like, how much they weigh? You know, I'm having a cook. I was like, oh, hell no, these are pets. And he was like, oh, well, yeah, I wasn't planning on cooking them. And I was like, okay, this dude wants to know how much the pigs weigh and shit. I'm like, nah, he going to eat these pigs. So I ended up giving them to a firefighter that lived in the same city as me. And I told him, I said, well, you know, you ain't supposed to have them in the city. He was like, man, I work for the city. They ain't going to do nothing to me. And I was like, all right. And I gave him and his kids my pigs. And then they changed the rules after that about chickens. But that's the only reason I got rid of my pigs is because the city was on to me about the chickens. And then I guess all the chicken owners around here put up a fight, and you were allowed to have 6 chickens per piece of property. All right. And I own a few lots. So it means I could have had 6, 12, 18 chickens. So, but by then the city was already leaving letters on the door. And, you know, I was like, this ain't going to be long before they walk back there and see there's pigs back there in the city. Nina, thank you. So, yeah, I look at pigs like pets. I couldn't kill it if I wanted
to.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that sever an artery? I mean, how long would she have been able to live?
There's multiple vessels that would be severed, and not to mention, if you go with this idea that it could have been a vertical incision, now you're talking about getting into the bowel. Okay, just think about that, because with cesarean, one of the reasons it's done more in a southerly direction anatomically is you avoid that. All right, and trust me, our medical professionals have been doing this for years and years and years and years. They understand the nature of the anatomy involved here. That's not something that would be done in a clinical environment. So if you're at a very rudimentary level, a barbaric level, that's what you're going to be looking at. You're going to talk about erupting a multitude of vessels in there. You're going to be talking about damaging the bowel, which also has its own blood supply. So yeah, she would bleed out in this environment. That's really no surprise here. And I think that when all is revealed, you're going to begin to understand the horror that she endured during this event. And there's really not going to be any words to try to describe it, I think. If and when this thing makes it to trial, if it makes it to trial, you're going to see something presented to a jury or to a judge that is going to shock them to their core.
Listen.
And we just had them take us to whatever the video that they wanted to show us. And the son or the young boy or the 20-year-old did not want the dad to go up, and asked if I could go up and see if it was a mask or if it was really somebody. And it was Rebecca.
November 25th. On a trail directly behind the home of biomom Bartholomew, a volunteer finds the body of Rebecca. Investigators not releasing the condition of the body or if a newborn has been found. Rebecca was expected to give birth days before her body was located.
That from Up North Live. Let's start at the beginning. Tonight, the search is on for Rebecca's baby boy, Richie. We now know of her stomach. How did this whole thing start? Who is Rebecca? Listen.
Child Protective Services called to save Rebecca from her biological mother, Courtney Bartholomew, placed with foster mother Stephanie Park. When parental rights are terminated, Stephanie adopts Rebecca. Rebecca flourishes in the Park home and enjoys grandparents and extended family. Stephanie Park knows Rebecca's mother is dangerous and tries to protect Rebecca from reconnecting with her. Like many adopted children, Rebecca is curious about her biological mother, and the two reconnect.
So to renowned psychologist, forensic psychologist, Dr. Sherry Schwartz, Dr. Sherry, Rebecca came from an abusive home, but very early on, CPS did the right thing and removed her, put her in a foster home, and the foster mom adopted her and kept her, gave her a forever home. Even though she was extremely happy growing up, she became curious about who's my bio mom? What is that? I don't know that I understand it, Dr. Sherry Schwartz, because Rebecca had everything. She had a loving family.
Okay, right here it says Dolly are sending horses down to Mexico for slaughter. That's horrible. Also, I should look. I'm gonna go squirrel with you guys for a minute. Where I live at now, there used to be a dog food plant down the street, and you know they use horse meat and dog food. And what they would do is that they would use the meat and then burn the corpses. All right, and I don't know if y'all ever smelled burnt horse. It is the most nasty, wretched smell you could ever smell. Okay, it is horrible. Anybody live near a dog food plant in here? Anybody? Right? It is ungodly terrible. It is like, it smells like dead bodies, like corpses. It smells like death on a large scale. Imagine how bad a person stinks. Horses smell, you see how big they are, right? They smell, oh my God, it is deadly smelling, right? So when I was young, teenager, this dog food plant was there. And in the summertime, if the wind was blowing the right way, you could walk out the front door and the stench of death would hit you in the face. And then eventually, I don't know, I was about 20, the dog food plant caught on fire and burnt down. Okay, instead of rebuilding it, they moved it somewhere else. But and now it don't smell like death. But this area that I live in, when I was young, smelled just like dead bodies. The whole area. Like, as soon as you got off the interstate, you're like, damn, did I just pull up in a is there people dead in the bushes? Like, it smells like rotten decay, death. Like, I don't even know how to, if you ever smelled a dead person or been around a dead person or found a body, it's that times 1,000. It is just, it is bad. So when that place burnt down, I was like, thank God, because then they moved it somewhere out in the country where it, you know, but to have that so close to the city, stinking up the whole city, it was horrible.
Grandparents, cousins, all the love a baby could have, but she had a curiosity about her bio mom who couldn't give a fig about her, abused her, and then gave her up. But yet she was curious to find that bio mom.
We all want to know where we came from, Nancy. This is one of the fundamental biological drives to know our roots, our ancestry. And in a case where a child is given up pretty much at any age, or the parent abandons them, disappears, that drive is a bit stronger. The kids want to know, you know, who is this person and why did they give me up? It's natural to think Rebecca maybe thought it had something to do with her. So you want to talk to that person if they're around and find out why.
You know, Randolph Rice is joining us, former prosecutor, current criminal defense attorney.
Well, I mean, even if they're lying about the baby, I see people talking about what if they're lying about the baby and they sold the baby. Either way, why lie? You're going to prison forever. You're never getting out of prison, so you might as well tell the truth. And if you sold the baby, you're never going to be able to spend the money because your ass is in prison unless you buy crackers and canteen with it.
Attorney and civil lawyer who founded Rice Law. I know that your firm has been involved with adoptions. It seems to happen all the time that the child wants to go back and find the bio parents. And I think, Randolph, that Dr. Sherry hit it on the head. They somehow think my mom gave me up because I fill in the blank. I was a bad baby. She didn't want me. They somehow blame themselves. Have you ever noticed that? And there is just an inherent desire to find that bio mom.
Yeah, typically the adoptions we handle, the kids are very young, but certainly as they get older, there is that curiosity that they want to find out who their parents are, who their backstory is, where did I come from, maybe who are my grandparents. And this is so important because it fulfills that void that they're trying to fill in life, of trying to get the answers as to who am I.
You know, I find it interesting to you, Dan Murphy, that the adoptive mom has a premonition. She says, Your bio mom is trouble. Don't reconnect. Don't do it. But yet Rebecca was hell bent. She wanted to find the bio mom. Have you ever had cases? I have, where
I want to take a second and thank Forget Me Not 23. She donated to the Christmas Wish campaign, and it says, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for donating to the Christmas Wish campaign. Now, let me explain this because I haven't explained it yet today, right? Our Christmas Wish campaign is where we buy a few families Christmas this year, less fortunate families that wouldn't have Christmas without us, okay? So we've been raising money for the past month to buy Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas, and we were able to help 15 families this Thanksgiving and buy them turkeys, pies, the full works for 15 families. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So the rest of the money goes towards our Christmas Wish campaign, which we buy at least, well, last year we bought 5 families. We know we're going to do at least 3 families or even more this year. And we're going to do that on the 14th. Today's the 10th. So we got 4 days before we buy these families Christmas, because we want the Christmas presents to be there by Christmas Day underneath the tree, or just to give them to their kids. Right. So if you have a few extra bucks and you want to donate to that cause, we have a give, send, go. You just donate whatever you can, $5, $10, 20, whatever you can afford and you want to help out with. Greatly appreciate it. And then the 14th, tune in. You'll see the families that we buy Christmas for. If you're a family in need, okay, this is the important part. If you're a family in need, you got all the way up to the 14th, the day of the 14th, to get your submission in. And what we need from you is a write-up telling us why you're struggling, okay? And this is basically for single mothers out there. I always like to help single moms. I was raised by a single mom. So tell us what's going on. We don't want to know your life story. We just want to know what's going on with you in the last couple months, why things are so bad and why you can't afford to get the kid Christmas. We need a picture of a child, okay? And we need them to have an Amazon wish list, all right? Because we order it all from Amazon. We ship it straight to your house. 3 things. They need to be all included in one email, okay? Your story, your picture, your wish list. One email. Don't send it to me in 3 different emails. And then you need to send it to pjvision22@gmail.com. Say it with me. pjvision22@gmail.com. Okay? Now, we can't pick everybody. We're going to pick the 3 or 4 people we think are most in need, and we're going to bless these families and their kids with Christmas. All right? That's what we've been raising the money for. So, you got to the morning of the 14th to get your stuff in. If you do it wrong, I can't help you. Okay? You should have did it right. If you want to help out, donate to the Give, Send, Go. If you're a family in need, you have to email PJ those 3 things in one email, because we're not going to jump around and try to piece things together. We read it. She reads it to me. We read all of them, and then we pick the 3 or 4 that we can go, okay, these people need it. They need the help. These are the people that we're going to help this year. And we buy that family Christmas. They're kids. We don't buy stuff for adults. So it's toys, it's games, it's stuff like that. If we look up there and there's a big screen TV and a microwave, we're like, yeah, that ain't happening. Christmas is about the kids. And let me tell you this, guys, I have to mention this. If you don't need it, please don't send us an email, because there's families that do. And if you have, then, and you're just trying to get a free present out of it for your kid, don't do that, because there's a family out there that really needs this help. And we don't want to dig through 1,000 emails and then give it to somebody that could have went out and bought their own shit. Also, you don't have to send it to me over and over and over and over. Yes, just send it once, right? Just send it once, one email, okay? If you send more than one, we're going to disqualify you. Probably not, but don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Because this is about doing something good from the heart for Christmas and Christmas spirit and all that good stuff. We wish we could help everybody, but of course we can't. All right. I wish more channels would take part in doing stuff like this in the true crime community. That way that, we give back to our community. This is just a good way for us true crime junkies to give back to other true crime junkies that are less fortunate. Okay. And like I said, we were able to help 15 families for Thanksgiving this year. That's more families than in 1 year that we've been able to help in the last 3 years. So 15 to me was like, oh my God, that is amazing. Like, you guys were great on paying it forward and helping families this year. And we did all that live up here, of course, and we will do the Christmas stuff up here live on the 14th. That way we know that your Christmas presents are getting out there to you in time. Right now, if we don't pick you, I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. Like, that's the bad part, because when you read these things, you want to help everybody. You really do. Right. And I wish I could. If I was a billionaire or a millionaire, I would buy everybody Christmas, but we're not. So we got to be selective and we got to be picky and make sure it goes to the most deserving people that we think, and we gift those gifts. And it's just our way of giving back to our community. All right. And so, and for everybody else, thank you so much for taking part of it. And you'll hear more thank yous on, of course, the 14th when we're doing it, because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to help as many people as we do. All right. You guys are great. I just want y'all to know that.
Witnesses have had some sort of an emotional or mental warning, a premonition, so to speak. And it's poo-pooed. Nobody pays any attention to it.
Nancy, countless times I've dealt with victims of crime who've survived, and I've seen cases where people haven't, where their intuition or their intuition for another person's protection has kicked in and the radar's been going off and they've ignored it. And many times I've had victims of crime tell me, from hospital beds, I had a feeling about that guy. I don't know why I let him in the door. I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I did that. But our intuition exists for one reason, and that's to protect us. Now, in a case like this, a mother's intuition, even an adopted mother's intuition, is strong. She knows the history, and she relayed that to her. Sometimes you have to let people find their own way, but this is a case that is not unusual to that extent. People feel that. Parents feel it strongly for those they love. And we can see things sometimes that people themselves can't see.
Feeling contractions at 38 weeks pregnant, Rebecca goes to the hospital November 2nd, even though her due date is not until November 18th. An exam reveals she's a mother to run some errands. Rebecca has $2,000 cash she receives as an inheritance from family in preparation for her baby.
Bombshell tonight. Crime Stories now streaming first on Fox 1. That's right. You can now watch all the new episodes of Crime Stories first with Fox 1. We are so proud to have a partner who furthers our mission to always, always seek justice, whatever that may be. Watch episodes first with Fox 1 24 hours before they are seen anywhere else. You can even try 7 days for free. The brand new season of Crime Stories airs now on Fox 1. Click the link in the episode description to learn more and watch first on Fox 1.
Her cell phone is discovered abandoned along a desolate 2-track road. 21 days after her disappearance, the unthinkable happens. Rebecca's lifeless body is found in the remote depths of Manistee National Forest.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. There you go. That shoots Randolph Rice's theory that she had a natural birth. Shoots it to hell and back, because he's going to go through all that and their cell phone is not with them.
They definitely didn't have no natural birth. That is one thing I'm pretty confident at. And we still, like I want to let you guys know, we still have a ton of these Summer Wells bracelets that we're giving away. And on them, they say, this is what I'm going to show y'all one real fast. They have little butterflies, and they say "Justice for Summer Wells," purple and black. And on the back side, it has the 2 play buttons and says Dolly Vision. So it says Dolly Vision, Justice for Summer Wells with the butterflies. You see the butterflies? Oh no, my camera's a little tricky. It's hard to see. And we're giving these away with every order. So if you order anything from Dolly Vision, we throw in a couple of these bracelets because we got so many of them. We meant to order 100 of them, and we ordered 700. Way off from what we wanted, right? But so every order now, you get a free Summer Wells bracelet with it, right? Matter of fact, let me put one on. I got some other ones, but there we go. Now I got my official Dolly Vision Summer Wells bracelet, and you can get one too. Like I said, with anything you order. And listen, if you have a past order out and haven't got it yet, and we ain't shipped it, it'll also come with one. So we're putting these in every order. And right now, everything's still on sale. Body washes and soap with promo code Dolly Vision. No, promo code Dolly Rocks. One word, all capitals. Everything is half off for Christmas, but that sale ends today. So if you haven't yet, get your orders in, and we're going to throw in some free goodies with it. All right. Now back on track. Oh, and that's buydollysoap.com.
You know, Dave Mack, we've seen that over and over again. I guess you recall Alex Murdaugh, right? The high-profile lawyer now convicted of murdering his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. Remember, Maggie's phone was found not far away from her body was found, and it was proven through his, Alex Murdaugh's, nav system. Remember that? He was driving away from the murder scene, slowed down, let down the passenger side window, threw out Maggie's cell phone, let the window up, and scratched off. That was probative where her cell phone was found. Let's see another one. Kelsey Barrett. Remember her? Killed by fiance Frazee with the help of his mistress, the rodeo queen. Her cell phone pinged hundreds of miles away, where the two had tried to make it look like she just left town, leaving behind her little girl to fend for herself. So where the cell phone is found, Dave Mack, can sometimes be critical.
Absolutely. Cell phone data puts them at the location. It shows that their stories were inconsistent and they were lying, right? So I think the cell phone data enough shows that they were there when this girl was killed and her baby was cut from her. Absolutely. And we're just a few super chats, I think, away from giving this hat away. So I think today we're gonna pull numbers. I got to find something to write with, and we'll give the hat away. And I just write down a number and you guys guess it. And the person that gets that right gets this hat. I will sign it and ship it to you as long as you live in the United States. Okay, this is a Justice for Jack and Lily hat. It's brand new. I just put it on. My head's clean. Don't worry. But this will be the exact hat you get. And it's worth more because it was worn by Dolly, okay?
But needless to say, in this case, Rebecca did not have her cell phone. It was abandoned, correct?
It was, and it was abandoned not far from where her bio mom's house is. And here's the part that really bothers me, Nancy, because the phone was found on the first day they began the real search for her. And yet her body is found 150 yards from where her phone was, but we don't find it for 3 weeks. It's in an area that's been...
Guys, are y'all putting numbers in the chat already? I said we were a few super chats away from giving it away. We ain't giving it away right this second, right? We're almost there. We're almost there. So, yeah, don't put numbers in the chat yet. All right. We'll let you know when it's time to put numbers in the chat. All right.
Search. I mean, think about it. You're conducting a search. You find her phone. You're going to look all around.
You know what that makes me think, Dave Mack? And let me throw this to Alan Langle joining us, the editor at Deadline Detroit, an online daily. Alan, I wonder if where her body was found is a secondary or even tertiary crime scene.
Real Rockin' Robin.
In other words,
Real
was she
Rockin'
killed
Robin.
somewhere else, then dumped there? Because that's a lot of time to pass without her body being found that close to her phone.
Although I will say, having worked on the Chandra Levy case when I was at the Washington Post, her body was found at Rock Creek Park. It wasn't till a year later a guy was taking a walk through the woods with his dog where the body was discovered. I think it's, for some reason in the forest, it's not hard to, have a body hidden for that long. And particularly in the cold where I don't know enough about it to say, but canines going through the woods or stuff like that, I don't know if it's harder when it's cold out, when the scent isn't, the aroma isn't out there. But who knows? It's hard to say. I mean,
Well, that's a good question, Alan Langle. When were canines brought out?
Right. That is a good question. I mean, you would think that's standard procedure. Usually there's a search team. A lot of times it's part of the community, part of the police. But I can tell you in the Chandra Levy case, they sent out dozens and dozens of police officers and cadets looking for the body, and they did not find it. Could it have been moved? It's very possible, and I think that was one of the thoughts maybe with Chandra Levy, that maybe she was killed somewhere else and then her body was dumped there. I guess we don't know at this point. I mean, it's interesting, the theories by police, they seem to have some pretty specific theories as to what happened, the scenario. So it makes me think somebody's cooperating, whether it's the actual people involved or somebody else has been cooperating in this.
We don't know when canines were brought out to the scene, but they did not hit on Rebecca's body, which is leading to a lot of speculation. She was killed in one place, the dog searched, and then her body was dumped. Then we begin hearing stories about Rebecca, heavily pregnant, getting into a black vehicle with tinted windows at midnight. Now, remember, the last time she was seen, she's with her bio mom running errands, and she's got $2,000 with her. It's a family gift to prepare for the baby. Now, listen to this.
Rebecca's fiancé, Richard Lee Fallor, is trying to get in touch with Rebecca, but she is not answering or replying to text. Knowing Rebecca has been shopping with her biological mother, Fallor calls Bartholomew, who says Rebecca got into a black-colored sedan with tinted windows just before midnight and left.
Sky Maiden, it's only on soaps and body wash, okay? And the promo code is Dolly Rocks. One word, all capitals. PJ hasn't shut it off yet, so I know the promo code is still active. All right. So is PJ in the room still? She can help you out.
Fallor reports Rebecca missing with the Wexford County Sheriff's Office.
Dave Mack, I'm understanding that the fiance got that information from Rebecca's bio mom, who was.
Dolly don't blink. I blink. Okay. JLR don't blink. Now you got me blinking. All right. Blink, blink. Sink. Right. Go to the sink and vomit. Clean it up with Comet. Earth is my planet. Yes.
The last one known to be with her.
Exactly. He knew that Rebecca had been with her bio mom shopping earlier that day. When he couldn't get her, he called Bartholomew, who told him the story about the getting in a car, a dark vehicle.
But isn't it true, Dave Mack, the bio mom has an alibi of sorts?
I don't think LOL, because JLR drinks more coffee than me. I'm not AI generated. AI would generate somebody smarter than me, I guess, right?
Let's listen.
She gave me my meds at about 8:40. I don't remember a lot, as I just said, but she was there when I went to bed, and she was also there when I woke up that the next day. I know that she never goes out and about when I'm sleeping, just because she doesn't like to drive at night.
Wait a minute, Randolph Rice, that's no alibi. The son of the bio mom says he took meds at 8:40 and didn't see his mom again until the next morning. That's no alibi for the night Rebecca died.
You're exactly right, Nancy. It's no alibi, but at least establishes that somewhere around 8:40 that she's accountable, and sometime
Don't blink, my eyes be dry as hell. Okay.
the next morning she's accountable. The question is going to become, where was she between 8:40 p.m. and that next morning?
Out of the blue, a surprise twist. Listen to Joanna Carey, the Wexford County prosecutor.
This is a case of premeditated murder. These two individuals created a plan, conducted research. Ms. Bartholomew brought Rebecca to their home. They forced her into another vehicle and took her into the woods, where they stabbed her, forced her to lie on the ground while they and ultimately caused her death.
There's been a lot of speculation about potential motive. Of course, the state never has to prove motive in a case like this or any case. But to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, apparently prosecutors are speculating about a motive. What is it?
It is that the Bartholomews, Bradley, that they had failed at conceiving a child, that she had had multiple miscarriages, and that she still wanted to have a baby. I'm talking about Courtney Bartholomew here, and that they had not been able to do that.
You know, you really can't make that up. But believe it or not, there have been other cases similar to this with the same motive. And I'm referring specifically to the case of Bobby Joe Stinnett.
The woman behind me is one of the most hated people in Missouri. This is Lisa Montgomery, and in 2021, she was actually the first woman to be executed by the U.S. government in nearly 70 years because she did something horrifically depraved. In 2004, Lisa drove to Missouri to meet Bobby Joe Stinnett, who was 38 weeks pregnant at the time.
That is from Rate Review on TikTok, and she's right. Lisa Montgomery, out of the victim, Bobby Joe Stinnett, who was 8 months pregnant, took the baby, and the baby lived. The baby girl is now a teenager living with her father. Alan Lingle joining us from Deadline Detroit. Alan, these two are under arrest right now. Do you believe that there are any other?
What's with all these people doing that? Like, it's like a trend. Like, let's get some scissors and let's go to work on a pregnant woman. That seems so crazy to me, that there's so many people doing this type of stuff.
Parties involved in the murder of Rebecca, and you have reason to believe that the baby is no longer alive. Explain.
Well, I think the Attorney General, Dana Nessel, here in Michigan, has put out a press release. She's working with the county prosecutor, and she's put out a press release saying that not only the mother is dead, but the baby is dead. They seem to have a scenario of what happened, what transpired, which tells me somebody is cooperating and helping, laying out, because I doubt there's any video there in the National Forest there. Somebody has sort of laid out a scenario where they're able to press charges and say what happened. So does somebody else know about it? There's a very good possibility that somebody else has been cooperating to sort of lay out the scenario.
You know, it's amazing to me that other people could stand by knowing this happened or was going to happen and did nothing to.
We got 5. $504. Okay, we're back. Okay. Like I was saying, we're one super chat away from the giveaway of the hat. I don't know what happened with the video. My stuff is lagging a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay out there. It did this about this time yesterday. That's why I had to wait till yesterday evening to come back. All right, we're having trouble connecting. Okay, now we should be back. Everybody good? Everybody hear me? You're back. Okay. Like I said, we're one super chat away from the giveaway of the hat. If you haven't, like the video. And thank you guys for being here.
Joseph Scott Morgan, the baby Richie, has not been found. Ellie thinks the baby is dead. Is there any way? Now, we saw in the Montgomery case the baby did live. Is there a way the baby lived?
Yeah, there's a possibility the baby lived. We just don't know how long. But here's the thing, Nancy. I think that all we have to do is go back to what the state prosecutor is saying here, because they're kind of definitively saying that this, neither two, and we know the mom, all right, is deceased, but both of them are not alive. So where is she coming up with that information? I'm wondering if there was a witness to this event, or if somebody had actually that was involved in this had stated it to somebody else, maybe in their immediate circle, maybe somebody within the family, because they're banging on about, well, we've tried and we haven't had a baby, and this is something we really wanted. Well, if they're banging on about that, maybe they're saying, well, we tried again. Oh yeah, we tried to butcher my biological daughter and extract the baby from her, and so that didn't work either. Did they make that statement to somebody? The question is, where is this child? And also, how long, if any time did this child survive outside of the womb? And what's the status of the baby right now?
If you know or think.
Okay. What's the status of this baby? Is this baby out there? Is the baby alive? All right. I think that is the question so many are asking, because they haven't found the baby. Now you would think it'd be pretty easy to find the baby. They took this baby to a dumping area. They basically wrapped the baby up in a black plastic bag. They put the baby into a cooler. Okay. It was Brad's work cooler. Now they dumped this cooler, and this cooler has went to a landfill. So it seems like it wouldn't be so difficult to find the baby. Dolly, I ordered my soap. Well, congratulations. You'll get one of these fancy, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. One of these purple bands like Dolly got on right now that says Justice for Summer Wells. All right. With every order. And, but thank you for everybody that's been ordering. I went to the post office today, and I dropped off a ton of packages. So some of your orders have went out today. Some of you guys have ordered t-shirts. I ordered all the t-shirts last night. I'm just waiting for Amazon to deliver them. Some of them will get delivered tonight, and some of them will get delivered tomorrow. So I will print those up and get those out to you guys. We still have some soap in stock. We're selling out of things. Matter of fact, I need to check and see what we have sold out of. But everybody that has been ordering, thank you guys so much. Let me see what we got left. BuyDollySoap.com. Let me share the screen with you guys. And of course, this is my website, BuyDollySoap.com. This is where we sell all our merch, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, that type of stuff. Coconut shea butter. We still have some of this, PJ. So you can mark this not sold out if you could. Yeah, we still have all that. I know we have coconut shea butter. I just bottled up some last night. This red velvet cake, this is exclusive. So when this sells out, we'll be done with this one. And I think PJ was going to put this on sale today. So this one's going to go on sale. Watermelon, we still have plenty of watermelon. All right, tumblers, of course, we have. Of course, we got the tumblers. Plenty of those. Buy a PJ t-shirt, buy a PJ and Dolly. There's a pink Dolly Vision hat. Blessed to be alive. Okay, Susan, you just put us over the top. All right, my producer's calling. Hold on. Hello. All right. She was just going over some of the store numbers with me to make sure we had everything in stock. But I know it's in stock because I was just looking at it. We got the Turtle Island t-shirts. We got Dolly Vision Scully Girl. We got the crime scene kind of skeleton one. We got the camo Dolly Vision hat. I don't know how many of those we have left in camo. I know we have black and pink, but I don't know how many more camo hats I have. We have the pink Dolly Vision hat. We have the purple, which this is a limited edition. This is our Sugar Skull one. We have the black Dolly Vision shirt, of course, the white Dolly Vision shirt. Turtle Island hat, that's going to come down. Okay. We have a couple of those. I may throw them into a mystery box because I have a couple made. So I may give those away. So don't worry about buying those because I ain't making any more of those because we're moving on to season 7. Here's the crime scene shirt, Dolly Vision zombie. We got the zombie. We got the cotton candy lotion, which is our #1 selling lotion. We have the pink sugar lotion. And of course we have Love Spell, which we call Turtle Spell. And in soap, we have the cotton candy, bar soap, cotton candy, cherry almond. Let's see what else. Cucumber melon is sold out. Eucalyptus, honeysuckle, lavender, lumberjack is sold out. That is one of our man soaps. That thing, they sell fast. Okay. Man card is sold out. We still have man card and body wash though. We got pink sugar soap, raspberry lemonade, rose petal, strawberry champagne, tobacco, turtle spell, creamy coffee sold out. Mystery boxes, they all come with one of these hats. Okay. Premium mystery boxes, same thing. We're almost sold out as mint chocolate chip cookie. I know for a fact that's exclusive. That's not on sale, guys. Okay. Let's see what else is up here. T-shirts. Dolly Gotta Eat. Where's the Baby? Hoodies. Stickers. Turtle Island season 6. Don't worry about that. Of course, we have the zombie hoodies, the PJ Vision shirts, trackers for you can put on your kids. These make great Christmas presents too. You know, think about how much is your loved one worth to you. It wasn't me, Dolly Vision YouTube shirt. All right, and that is it. That's all we have left in stock. Which is, you know, like I knew this year we would sell out of everything anyway. By the time Christmas hits, we will be sold out of absolutely everything. And because we like to do that anyway, at the end of the year, we throw a big sale and we try to sell out what we have left in stock. And then we start the new year fresh. Hashtag best opening game. That is absolutely right. Now, let's give this hat away. Now, this hat is a Justice for Jack and Lily hat. And PJ, I want you to put the chat. There ain't as many people here. Put it on 3 minutes delay. So don't start throwing out numbers yet, guys, because you only get one every 3 minutes. By now, y'all know how this works. Hold on, we got a helicopter flying over. Hope it ain't the North Koreans. It sounds like a Apache. It don't sound like a little helicopter. That's a military helicopter right there. That is going to one of the naval bases. So I want you guys to pick between 0 and 100. Now you may say it, but it's the first time I see it. The number's written down right here. 0 and 100. All right. Go. I'm looking. Haven't seen it yet. I've seen stuff close to it. Got it. Miss Thompson, 8021. Your number is number 68. Y'all see that? You can't see it. It's 68. Trust me. It's 68. It's up there. You just can't see it. All right. Missy Thompson, 8021. You just won this hat I'm wearing. If you want me to sign it, just let me know. If you don't want it signed, that's fine. But you need to send an email to the best soap in the game. Best soap in the game. Say it with me. Best soap in the game. Be like, hey, PJ, I won the Justice for Jack and Lily hat. I was number 68. We want your address as long as you live inside the United States. Let me know if you want me to sign it or not. And congratulations, you got a new hat. Okay. So I only wear the hats while I do the show, and then I set them to the side. Okay. So the hat's brand new. It's only been worn for 2 hours. Okay. So you got a brand new hat. If you want it signed, I'll sign it. If not, and it's a really cute hat. I'll show it to you. It looks like this. It is the one on the far right. Okay. That Sebastian one, I'm sending that to Seth Rogers. I made 2 of them. I was going to send them to Chris and Katie, but they didn't hit me back. So I'm going to send that Sebastian Rogers one to Katie. But the one on the right here, you just won the Jack and Lily one. All right. Congratulations. And that's how you claim it, is you write best soap in the game at gmail.com. What did I do? Hold on, I lost my page. And we will get that shipped out to you. Now, I do have this other one that I'm giving away later tonight. It's my last one of this. Hold on. It is the Justice for Melody. Can you see it? I'm going to give this one away. This is the only one, too. I'm going to give this away later tonight when I come live with you guys tonight. I'll be giving that one away. So anybody that's into the Melanie Buzzard case, and Melanie Buzzard's still missing, guys. We don't know if she's with us or if she's not with us. So, and you know, of course, the mother is like, I'm not telling where my daughter's at, kind of thing. So, which is absolutely horrible because we don't know if she's with us or not, because the police won't do anything to her, which is absolutely bizarre, but it is what it is. You know, the police ain't doing nothing and they're not arresting her, and nobody knows where the child is. She's been missing for 2 months now. Yeah. So, actually that's a really nice hat too, to spread awareness for this missing young lady, especially if you in that area of, you know, California or something like that. I still see people putting numbers in. We already got our winners. You probably behind. The helicopter is Benny Keys and Ernie showing that's above you. You're right. If damn Ernie Shell rappels down into my yard, we're gonna have some problems, right? We're gonna have some problems. I doubt that happens, but you never know with these idiots. They could be like, next thing you know, it'd be like, bam, and we got them rappelling down Benny Keys and Ernie Shell, right? We don't need that kind of smoke around here. No bad. It's the first time I see it. She said 69 and 86. I said 68. LOL. Well, it's the first time I see it. I try to make it fair as I can. So people may say it, but it's the first time I see it. And trust me, I'm giving away a hat every day, right? There will be some Dolly Vision hats. I only have a few more of these because some of them I had set 5 of the Summer Wells ones aside for people that order mystery boxes. So if you order a mystery box, you will get one of the Summer Wells hats free inside of the mystery box. So, and I think we've only sold like a couple. So we still have a few left. So if you get your orders in for mystery boxes and you want one of those Summer Wells hat, they're inside those mystery boxes, the ones I made. Later on tonight, I'm going to give away that one. Tomorrow is the Dolly Vision black one. Okay. So if you want a Dolly Vision, I got them all set in order of days that I'm streaming. I thought that was cool. Like give away my hat that I'm wearing, right? Just keep giving away the hats. And one, it helps spread awareness for missing kids. 2, it helps spread the logo Dolly Vision, right? Because some of the hats coming up that I'm giving away are Dolly Vision hats, the pink ones, the purple one. So there'll be a couple different ones for all you guys that want Dolly Vision hats out there. And we're going to be doing giveaways like that. Today we did it random where anybody could win it. The next one will be like if you wanted a super chatters, if you're on the train. That's how we did it last night. So you are going to be in charge of shipping all that. Well, I might do that. I may go through the email and ship out the winning hats. That way I get them out faster than having to, do all that. And I'll help you. Like I said, Sunday, we're going to focus when the kids get here. We're going to have Tiff come over and we're all going to focus on the shipping and get everything out because there's a lot of orders. So, and every order comes with, of course, one of the Summer Wells bracelets, right? Because we've got 700 of them, so we got to do something with them. And of course, when I go to Tennessee, I'll be able to hand them out to people, and wherever I go, I'll take some with me to give away. But we figured the best way, just throw them in with the orders and make sure you spread some awareness for these missing kids. Now I'm going to take off a little bit. I'm going to kick back, grab me something to snack on, watch a movie, and I will be back up here with y'all later tonight. And we're going to be talking Jack and Lily. We're going to be talking Melanie Buzzard, and we're going to be talking Michael Monkey Vaughn. All right. There's a lot of stuff shaking and baking in those areas. So we want to discuss those things with you. So make sure you're here, and I will see you guys later this afternoon. All right. Peace.